So KZ's come out with a new IEM that has one dynamic driver and one electrostatic driver. But what is an electrostatic driver? How does it work? How does it compare to the balanced armature driver that we all know and love? Well, I'm going to explain all of that, and I'm going to answer the most important question: how does the new electrostatic driver sound? All that and more coming up on today's episode of Hobart's Reviews. Hey everybody, welcome back to Hobart's Reviews. My name is Hobart. So KZ contacted me recently, asked me if I wanted to try some of their new IEMs they've come out with called the KZ ZEX, which are the first IEMs from KZ that use an electrostatic driver instead of the balanced armature drivers we all know about. But was that a good choice? Well, first we're going to go over the differences between the electrostatic driver and the balanced armature drivers so we can understand the differences between the two. Now, I don't mean to get too technical here, but there are some pretty big differences. So balanced armature drivers, they were invented for hearing aids and in-ear monitors. They're smaller than all the other drivers out there. Now, the way that these work is that there's a magnetic arm or armature that rests on a pivot point and rotates between two magnets. Now, when it's centered within this magnetic field, there's no net force on the armature. In other words, at this point, the armature is balanced. Now, when you put an electric charge through a coil, which is wrapped around this armature, the magnetic forces make this armature move, which then causes the diaphragm to move, and that creates the sound waves. So that's the basics on how a balanced armature driver works. Now, electrostatic drivers operate in a completely different principle than the other drivers and are a lot more expensive. Now, the way that these work is that you usually use an external amplifier to apply a static electrical charge to a thin film which is floating between two perforated metal plates. Now, when you put audio signals across these plates, it makes the film membrane move back and forth due to electrical attraction and repulsion, magnetic forces. It's the same principle as a condenser microphone uses to capture sounds, but it's doing it in reverse. Now, because this thin film has no resonances or energy storage, it's free from distortion, which is one of the big reasons why they've come out with these, is that you get little to no distortion with these electrostatic drivers. Now, like I said, normally you've got to have external amplifiers to power this, to get that static charge on that film, but what KZ's done is using an Electret electrostatic driver, which basically already has that static charge applied to the membrane. So you don't need the extra power. So the main differences between the two is that the electrostatic driver needs power to put that charge on the membrane, while the Electret electrostatic driver already has that static charge applied to the membrane. So you don't need it, you can put it in something like this. So now that we know the differences between the two drivers, let's go ahead and take a look at these guys up close and in detail. All right, so this is what the KZ ZEX box looks like down close. Of course, it looks like just all the other KZ boxes that we've gotten over the years, except for a different picture and a different name. So this, of course, has the ZEX. On the front, it says New Star and Hi-Fi, KZ Static Earphone Series Debut, Dual Unit Electrostatic Dynamic Hybrid Earphone. So that is what it says. Here's what the side of the box looks like. The other side, you've got the mic or no mic option. This one is a no mic option, but there is a mic option if you want to use it with your phone. I'll put a link to both options in the description, along with the different colors. You get a black, you get a graphite or silver gray color, and you get a rose gold color. So I'll go ahead and put a link for all of those in the description for you if you want to go ahead and buy some. So let's take them out of the box. Of course, that's what they look like. You got your earphones there with your KZ ZEX. As far as your box contents are concerned, you're going to get 3 sets of silicone ear tips. I like the memory foam ones myself, but they do the job. One is on the earphones, and you got 2 more here. You'll also have this new upgraded silver cable, which I'm super happy about. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then you've got your ZEX earphones. So we'll go ahead and pop these guys out of here. And that, my friends, is what they look like. And we'll go ahead and talk about the construction. So with this guy right here, you've got an aluminum faceplate that's been CNC machined, painted black. It's a matte black finish, so it's not shiny, which I really like. And you got that KZ logo right there. Looks like it's about an 1/8 inch thick or so. And then you've got this resin shell on the other side that fits very nicely in my ear. And we'll go over that when I put them on and show you. Here's your 2-pin connector, or the C-pin connector. That's where you're going to connect your cable. And as we go around here, you've got your stem. Whoop, just lost an ear tip. You got your stem, which some complain is too skinny. I don't know why they're complaining, but they're complaining. These and the CCA-NRAs, those are the same thing as these, tuned a little bit differently, but they're saying that that's too skinny. I don't know. Of course, you see the screen now to keep all the earwax and gunk out of it, which is a great idea. And the other thing that people are saying is that because these are so skinny that it's hard to put the silicone ear tips or memory foam ear tips on and off. So I actually have a set here. I wanted to pull one out and see how hard it is to put on. I mean, that's super simple. I'm usually fiddling with these things forever trying to get that hole onto that stem, and usually this hole is a little bit smaller than that, and I'm constantly, you know, wiggling, trying to get it on and until I finally get it on. This goes right in there. Some could say that's too loose, but I mean, I'm pulling on it, it's not coming off. So there is some resistance there, so I actually don't mind that that's skinnier, or the way that the stem is shaped, because it works well with putting my ear tips on and off. What about the silicone one, since I dropped the other one? Is the silicone one easy to put on? Yeah, super simple. Like I said, normally you're fiddling, and you finally get it on. This, you take it off, you put it on. So I ain't mad at that. If you look real close, you can see the driver here. I'm guessing that's the dynamic driver. And then your electrostatic driver's in there somewhere. You could probably shine a real bright light in there and see, but that is what they look like. Now let's talk about this cord here that they give us, this cable. Now, we all know the dreaded brown twisted KZ cable that they used to give us. Well, it looks like we've bitched and moaned enough and they finally upgraded it for us. Now, this cable has a 90-degree 3.5 millimeter jack on one end. It is a silver flat cable, not twisted, not braided. It is a flat cable. You've got your silver color all the way down to about 1.5 feet or so from the end, and then it splits off for your two ear hooks. Now here's what your ear hooks look like. They do have that plastic coating on here to keep that form so that they go around your ears. And then of course this is what the 2-pin connector looks like. You've got your 2 pins in there. And to put them on your earphone, you just take the 2 pins, and push them on just like that. And now you're ready to go. That will go on your right ear. So I'm super happy that they upgraded us to this silver cable. I was gonna throw them across the room if I opened this box and there was another one of those brown cables in there. So you don't need to go and buy another cable. You can crumble it up in a ball and guess what? It doesn't tangle up. So that is what I like about it. The brown one, I'd be untying it for the next 3 hours. So now that we've seen these guys up close, we've talked about the cable, the specs, we've looked at them. Let's go ahead and go back up top and I'll put these in, show you how they fit, and we'll do a sound test and I'll let you know how they sound. All right, so before we get to our sound test, I wanted to go ahead and show you how you connect these guys up and put them on, determine which is left or right. Obviously, you're gonna have this and you're gonna have this and you're not gonna know what to do. So easy way to find out is you're gonna wanna put it so that the faceplate is facing out and that this is facing in for your left ear. And the other, same with the other, you want the faceplate out and you want the stem facing in for your right ear. So in this case, stem in, faceplate out, left ear. So in order to hook up your cable, you want this to go over the top of your ear. So you're going to come from behind, you're gonna plug your 2 pins in, bam, and now it's ready to go. This goes over the back of your ear and this goes in your ear. So I'll show you how to put it in. You're just gonna take it, grab this cord, go around your ear and stick the stem down in your ear. Now with me, I'm using the memory foam tips, which I have to hold in there for a second to let them expand. You don't have to do that with the silicone tips, just push them in until they seal. I like the memory foam tips. I feel like they give me a better seal overall, but if you need to get them in and out quickly, the silicone tips are going to be much easier to put these in and out because as you can see, I have to kind of hold them for a second in order to get them to expand, otherwise they don't seal. All right, so this is what they look like. The memory foam tips make them stick out a little bit more than the silicone tips, but even as they are now, look at that profile. I mean, they're beautiful. I love the way that they fit. So now that you've seen how to put them in, how they fit, let's go ahead and listen to some music. Now I like to listen to a couple different kinds of music just so I can get a good idea of how they're tuned. Something like Sublime with Rome, where they've got lots of instruments, maybe some woodwinds and some brass, and then maybe something hip hop like Post Malone where I can get some rumble, some bass to see how well it does, see if I get any distortion or not. So let's start off with some Sublime with Rome. I got Wicked Heart, so let me give you a listen and I'll let you know how they sound. Ooh. Well, the first thing that I'm noticing is that there's lots of volume. So I'm using a Galaxy S10 Pro, okay? I'm not using anything special, no DAPs, no DACs, no amplifiers or anything like that. And whew, the volume, you'll have no problem with headroom. So what I'm noticing is that these are definitely bass and mid forward. Compared to something like one of their early IEMs, one of their flagships, the ZS10 Pro, those, while sounding good, were really heavy on the treble. A lot of people complained that they get ear fatigue, you'd hear sibilance from the highs because they were tuned so far in that direction with very minimal bass and okay mids. These guys, it is bass and mid driven. The highs have been pulled back a little bit. I can still hear the highs, I still hear detail, I can still hear the tambourine going. Vocals are still clear. Not super clear, but they're still real clear. But when it comes to the bass and the mids, oh, it's punchy, it rumbles, and there's no distortion. Wow. Okay. So Sublime with Rome sounds absolutely incredible. Very punchy. The bass still rumbles and doesn't distort. The highs are still there. So what do you say? Let's go over to some Post Malone. I love me some White Iverson. It's got some good, really low rumbling bass. And based on what I've heard so far, that these are more bass and mid forward, I'm thinking that this is going to sound pretty darn good as well. Because there's a lot more bass and a lot more mids in something like this than there is in Sublime. So let's see how it sounds. Wow. Even lower bass. Wow. Hey, hey, hey. Okay. All right, so the beginning of the song, you got that boom, and then it drops again, boom. No problems. Handled it like a champ. Here it goes again. Yeah, the rumbling of the bass, there's no distortion. And I got this all the way up. I got it on full volume, and there's absolutely no distortion at all. I can still hear the highs. I can still hear that hi-hat. The mids, nice and full. Yeah. Okay. All right, so it's just what I thought. When it comes to these guys compared to something like the ZS10 Pros, which are tuned more for punchy bass, some mids, and really good, clear, powerful highs, this is like the 180-degree opposite of that. Instead of the barely there bass, you've got lots more bass. Instead of the okay mids, you've got real good mids. And instead of the really powerful highs, they've pulled those back a little bit. And I gotta say, I really do like it because you can get some ear fatigue just from listening to something like that really loud for a long time with the treble because it just makes your ears tired. While with this, since they pulled that back, they didn't pull it back too far. So you still get the detail, you just don't get that, that fatigue. But I gotta say, when it comes to the bass and the mids, it's like totally different. The bass, it's punchy, yet when it rumbles, when White Iverson goes boom, I mean, it is just rumbling with no distortion. Zero distortion on a Galaxy S10 phone. So that's pretty incredible. I definitely like them better than the KZ ZS10 Pros. I think they're probably my new favorite based on the fit, based on how comfortable they are, and of course, based on how they sound. I'm just jazzed. I love the bass and the mids on these. So that's basically it, guys. I hope you really like the video today. I hope I was able to explain everything that I could about these IEMs. I want to thank KZ for sending them to me. You guys did a great job. I definitely think you did a great job. Could there be a little bit more clarity in the highs? Yeah, I would probably just a little bit. Give me a little bit more highs because I don't want to say the word muffled, but it's like 95% clear. not 100%. So yes, they're there, but give me a little bit more, but don't touch the mids and the bass. Absolutely awesome. So hey, it's the KZ ZEX, the very first electrostatic driver. I'm gonna go ahead and put a link in the description for the mic and the no mic options for all three colors, and that includes the black, the graphite, and the rose gold. So those will all be in the description. They are affiliate links that help out the channel, so if you're gonna go ahead and buy these, I'd appreciate it if you go ahead and use those links below. If you have any questions or comments about these, leave them in the comment sections. I'll be happy to answer them for you the best that I can. I'm not an audio expert, but I listen to them and I tell you what I think. So thanks again for joining me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're liking what I'm doing here on the channel, and hit that bell so next time I put out a video like this, you will be notified. Also, YouTube has granted me the privilege of having the Super Thanks, which means that you can now directly donate to my channel through the Super Thanks button, which is down here. There's a little heart with a thanks next to it. You can directly donate to the channel. If you don't, it's okay. I appreciate you watching anyway, but if you do, I want to thank you in advance for doing that. It really does help out. Well, friends, my name is Hobart for Hobart's Reviews. I really appreciate you joining me today. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day. See ya.